Welcome to Seawaywhiskywire. Tonight on the bar, we've got the Arran Robert Burns Single Malt Scotch Whiskey. Stay tuned. Well, hey guys, thanks for coming back after the intro. I'm Tyler, and tonight on the bar, we're going to continue on with our Budget Dram series, going into the second feature in the Budget Dram series, which is the Arran Robert Burns Single Malt Scotch Whiskey, coming in from the Arran Distillery in the Scottish Highlands. But before we get into that, if you have yourself something from Arran, you got yourself some Arran Robert Burns, if you got something from the Highlands, and you want to go ahead and pour yourself a dram and drink along with me, please do so. I encourage it. It makes life a heck of a lot better for you guys on the other end, and I enjoy you guys drinking with me. So before we get into the bottle of the Arran Robert Burns, I thought we'd just do a quick overview of the Arran Distillery just to give us an idea of what we're dealing with here. So the Arran Distillery is located obviously on the Isle of Arran in Scotland, and was founded in 1995 by Harold Curry, who was a former managing director of the Chivas Brothers. And his choice of location was influenced by the island's rich history of whiskey production, which dates back to the early 19th century, where illegal distillation was very common in that area. Construction of the distillery began in 1994, and it was opened its doors the following year, and the first cask was filled on July 29th, 1995, marking the new era of spirit making in the Arran Distillery. In 2017, the distillery saw significant expansion, adding 2 new stills to increase the production capacity, and in that same year, Arran opened its second distillery, Lag, on the southern part of the island, and that is dedicated to producing peated whiskey and diversifying their offerings. So today, Arran is celebrated for its commitment to traditional methods using high-quality ingredients, its ability to produce both peated and unpeated whiskeys that have garnered international acclaim, and the distillery remains independently owned, maintaining its focus on quality, innovation, and in the ever-evolving world of Scotch whiskey. And you know, guys, one of their main things they've done here is also putting Robert Burns' name on their entry-level dram here. This is actually also part of the Robert Burns Society in Scotland. So I mean, they've got the National Bard of Scotland on their product. So, you know, is this a cash grab? Is this something for the Burns suppers? Does it really live up to its namesake? And, you know, is this a dram worthy of Mr. Robert Burns? Well, we're going to find out there. It is definitely in that budget category, and we'll get into all that kind of stuff as we go. But right now, let's just take a quick overview of the Arran Robert Burns Single Malt Scotch Whiskey. So the Arran Robert Burns Scotch Whiskey comes in with an ABV of 43% ABV, non-chill filtered and no color added. 43%, I would normally say that it is chill filtered, although based on nothing else in the Arran Distillery being chill filtered, or not being chill filtered, I would vote on that is not. It does state on the packaging that there's no color added, so we do have that box checked. No mention of anything about maturation process. If I had to guess based on the flavor profile and kind of what I read online, I would say it's exclusively ex-bourbon, specifically what I would call ex-bourbon casks that are in their second fill stage, so second fill ex-bourbons. And you'll see that kind of as we go through things. But let's go through the presentation of the Arran Robert Burns. So I mean, it's a great little presentation here. You've got the Bard prominently displayed on the packaging here. There's a little bit of lore, some little bit of poetry on the back. It gets into a few tasting notes on the back of it here, but nothing really too over the top or in your face. And really, on the bottle, it's much the same. It does state that it is no color added. I wish they would have something about the filtration, which they don't. I also wish they had something about the maturation on there, which they don't. So I'm kind of in the middle ground. I do like the packaging that it comes in. I like the bottle. It's different than other Arran releases. This is not their standard bottle, but I think it kind of goes with that entry level piece. And you know, it's authorized by the Robert Burns Society, so it has to have the Bard prominently pictured on there. So I'll give it, you know, 50% maybe on the presentation piece. But you know what? Looks can be deceiving, and you know, we're not here just for the looks, we're here for the whiskey. So let's get into the pour on the Arran Robert Burns. Little cork pop there, and we'll give her a little pour into our glass. We'll go in and have a look at the liquid, and I'm just going to kind of bring it in here. So it's a very light, almost white wine color. And this is why, you know, it's a younger whiskey, not age statement, obviously, but this is why I'm thinking that it's likely second fill bourbon cask, just because of the color that's imparted. Not a whole lot going on there, but no color added, and I definitely don't have any quorums against that because how light it is. And again, it's a younger whiskey. So yeah. that's the color. Let's get into the nose on the Arran Robert Burns and see what we can get out of it. Let's dive into it. So it has the nose of a very young whiskey. No rough edges, but it just has this kind of like this kind of almost, if you've ever smelled new make, it kind of has this little bit of new make in it. It's just kind of like a sour kind of flavor, sour kind of scent. I get some fresh fruits in there too. I get some pears, some apples, the green apples, some citrus in there, some lemon zest, some light vanilla, almost like an icing sugar, I would say. It's a very nice nose. That bit of like that new make kind of scent at the very beginning there of the nose. It's a little, I wouldn't call it off-putting, but it is just, I wish it kind of wasn't there. It could definitely use a little bit more age, but you know, this is a budget whiskey for a reason, so obviously not gonna have too much age on it. Anyways, that's the nose. Let's get on to the taste of the Arran Robert Burns single malt Scotch whiskey. So, Slanja, to your health, and let's dive into it. Okay. Fresh fruits are back. Palate matches the nose. Get pears, green apples. I'm getting some ginger in there too. Some black pepper. Ginger and black pepper kind of after those fruits. Yeah. Pear, green apples, some lemon zest, some citrus zest, pepper, black pepper, ginger on there too. Back end is a little bit different. I almost want to say like a bit of pine resin on the back end of that transition. But yeah, you know what? Pretty good transitions for a fairly decently priced whiskey. Yep. Yeah, so pears, green apples, zest, ginger, black pepper, and then that little bit of resin kind of flavor at the end of it there. And it's not off-putting. It's actually quite nice. But let's get into the finish, see what we can finish up here with the Arran Robert Burns, and see if there's anything else that develops. So, I know I said through the nose that it is a fairly young whiskey. I'm still very much convinced it is. But it's very, very soft and very delicate. Very short finish. It's gone right now. But it's very soft and very delicate. No rough edges. And I think that kind of goes with the 43% that it is. And the shortness kind of speaks volume to the lack of age. You get that nice bit of fruit and those nice spice notes in there too. Even that little bit of resin, I would almost chalk that up into the spice category, because it is just kind of an afterthought, but it doesn't hang on long enough to make it off-putting. It's a fairly decent dram, and yeah, that's kind of what it is. So short finish, soft and delicate, fruity, and with a little bit of spice on the end. It's got a couple transitions, but you know, net, it's not gonna overwhelm you, I don't think, and it's not gonna overly wow you either. But drink's very nice. So being a budget dram, but maybe the value proposition isn't as just important. So we'll get on to the value proposition now. So in my area, this comes in at around $62. For $62, it's an easy sipper, not overly complex. But a great entry into Arran. Actually, you know, I almost think this is a little understated. Some of the Arrans I have had, like the Arran Sherry cask, are just, you know, much better, but they're also with a much higher price tag. So I mean, I think what is this kind of designed for? I think this is kind of designed as an entry level into Arran, but also an entry level into Scotch. association with Robert Burns really makes that. Robert Burns is very recognizable. There's Burns suppers, there's all sorts of things. So if you're going to a Burns supper and you don't know what to bring, this is definitely one that just kind of calls to you. It's not gonna be offensive to anybody. It's very approachable, very easy, and very affordable. So what can I give you for a recommendation on this? I would say that this is worth having at least once to try. Am I going to repurchase it? Honestly, if it had to come down between this Robert Burns single malt and the Deanston, I'm going to buy the Deanston, no lie. But this is still very good, and I would not hesitate to pick this up for $62 and share it with my buddies, or bring it to a dinner or a Burns supper. So I'll leave you with that, and that is my review of the Arran Robert Burns single malt Scotch whiskey. And if you like what we're doing here at Seaway Whiskey Wire, you guys know that drill. Like and subscribe down below, and don't forget to check me out on Instagram at seawaywhiskywire. I should have a quote from the Bard to finish up here, but I didn't have anything prepared. But if you hung around this video long enough to see this, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Love doing these videos for you and love bringing them. And it's a lot of fun for me to come down here, give me an excuse to come down in the basement and have a little dram. So I'll leave you with that. So take care, all the best, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.